The plane I'm about to show you has just crashed. The front of it is completely torn off, hitting straight into a fire truck. You can see everything at the front: the inside of the plane, loose wires, broken panels, and twisted metal. In a moment, I'll show you the video of the crash. It may be disturbing.
Stop, truck one, stop.
Ground Unit 2384 is declaring an emergency. The flight attendants in the back are feeling ill. Because of the odor, we will need to go into any available gate at this time.
Okay, roger that. Hey, this is Ed again. Do you guys have any gate for United? Because now they're declaring an emergency. They want to get out. Yeah.
Let me ask them. I'll call you right back.
Okay, roger that.
Jet 646, LaGuardia.
So it's you for GILS 4 for Jet 646.
646, number 2, clear to land 4.
Close to land number 2 for Jet 646.
And 2384, do you have a gate available at this time? Otherwise, we will be probably requesting air stairs.
Give me 1 second.
2384.
Stand by, United. Who's the vehicle needed to cross the runway? Emergency vehicles calling on ground, or are you calling on tower?
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower.
Truck 1 and Company.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
Frontier 4195 to stop there, please. Stop, truck 1, stop. Sorry, truck 1. Stop, truck 1. Stop, truck 1, stop.
4195, we're staying here.
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle there, just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now.
Is the runway closed?
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000.
Alright, 2000, go around, 2603.
LaGuardia Tower.
Tower, Carnage, to reiterate, LaGuardia Airport is closed at this time. No aircraft in or out.
Okay.
How does something like this happen at one of New York City's busiest airports? At least 2 people are dead and dozens more are injured. Let me walk you through it. So far, there was nothing unusual about this flight, not the route, not the timing. Air Canada Flight 8646 was traveling from Montreal to New York. It took off around 10:35 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night. The trip is short, just about an hour. Almost exactly 60 minutes later, the plane was lining up for landing at LaGuardia Airport, heading toward runway 4. That detail matters, and I'll explain why in a moment, but this is the runway it was approaching. The aircraft was coming in from the southwest, preparing to land toward the northeast, but it never made it all the way down. About halfway along the runway, everything changed. The plane suddenly came to a stop. On a normal day, this flight would continue forward and slowly turn onto a taxiway at a safe speed. But this time, something went wrong. At around 58 knots, just over 100 kilometers per hour, the plane suddenly veered to the right. And then the signal disappeared. Now let me show you what it hit.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower.
Truck 1 and Company.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
What you're hearing there is a radio exchange between a fire truck driver and LaGuardia's air traffic control. The call sign is Truck 1, speaking directly with the tower. When the driver asks to cross runway 4 at Delta, he's requesting permission to pass over an active runway using taxiway D. To understand this better, I pulled up a layout of LaGuardia Airport to see exactly where taxiway D meets runway 4. And it's right there, just under halfway down the runway, the same area where the plane lost control. The fire truck at that moment was responding to a different situation elsewhere in the airport. There had been a report of a strange smell on another aircraft. So, following normal safety procedures, the driver needed clearance from air traffic control before crossing, and from what we can hear, that clearance was given.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
But then, less than 3 seconds later, the tower calls back. Something isn't right. In just about 11 seconds, air traffic control repeats the warning again and again, trying to get the fire truck to stop. 11 calls in rapid succession, urgent, desperate, but the warning comes too late. When something like this happens, one of the first things to check is the weather. Looking at the official pilot reports from that night, the crash falls right between two recorded timestamps. About 15 minutes after the incident, visibility is listed as marginal, not terrible, but far from ideal. Conditions were still within operating limits, but not perfect.
So it was operational, but it wasn't great weather. It was kind of marginal weather.
Light rain was falling. Visibility for pilots was around 4 miles. Winds were light, about 7 knots. The report also includes coded details, RA for rain and BR for mist. Then there's the cloud cover. A few clouds at 4,500 feet, broken layers at 9,000, and a full overcast around 11,000 feet.
Once you go through the overcast layer, there may be other layers in there that are not overcast, that are what we call broken or scattered clouds.
But that's good weather. The airplane would be underneath 4,500 feet on the approach. It would see lights of the airport. So it's not, the actual cloud cover is not a big deal at all. So it's really not that, the weather's not much of a factor in terms of doing the operation. There wouldn't be any sort of flying challenges based on weather that I can see.
So far, none of the early findings clearly point to the weather as the main cause. Investigators will still look closely at it. They'll talk to everyone involved and analyze whether the conditions had any impact at all. But right now, there's no strong evidence suggesting the weather played a major role in this crash. That means the aircraft would have been flying below the lower cloud layer during approach. So while the weather wasn't severe, it wasn't completely clear either. What stands out even more is what happened right after the crash. Within minutes, the air traffic controller seems to take responsibility.
Man, that wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my staff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
You can hear the emotion in the voice, admitting there had been an earlier emergency and something went wrong. Another voice responds, trying to reassure him that he did what he could. And now the situation is drawing attention at the highest level. The U.S. president has already commented, suggesting this may have been the result of human error.
On the plane crash that happened
terrible. They made a mistake. It's a dangerous business. That's terrible.
When you're given clearance and you're on final to land on that runway, that aircraft who's given clearance owns that runway. But we hear clearly a communication that put a fire truck on a runway when by federal aviation regulations, that aircraft owned the runway.
Investigators are also expected to look closely at another key question. Was there a shortage of air traffic control staff? Because in this case, it appears the same controller may have been handling both air traffic and ground movement at the same time.
Who was doing the talking? What frequency were they talking on? And were the positions that are staffed, that should be staffed at certain levels, were they in fact people in those positions? And that's a key factor in any of these kind of investigations. Were they doing more than they're supposed to do? Or was there a coordination issue?
For all my years in the FAA, staffing has always been a problem at facilities. They've always seemed to operate at the very minimal staffing amounts. It's always been difficult for controllers to get time off, to get shift changes, and that exists today.
As our airports go, LaGuardia is a very well-staffed airport. We're a couple controllers short in total, but it is a well-staffed airport. I've heard the rumor that there was only one controller in the tower, and that's not accurate.
It's important to remember, this crash has just happened. A full investigation could take weeks, even months, before clear answers come out.
Oftentimes what we learn is information that we have at the start of an incident like this oftentimes is wrong. And so what we think we know right now, that's why it goes to the NTSB. They pressure test it, they investigate it, and then they come out with a report for all of you.
But one thing is already clear. The impact was extremely violent. The kind of force needed to cause this level of damage would have been massive. In fact, some airport fire trucks can weigh as much as, or even more than, certain aircraft. Tragically, the two people who lost their lives were the pilots. As for the passengers, more than 40 were taken to the hospital, but most have already been released. And in a surprising turn, everyone inside the fire truck survived.